I've just spent some time with the world's best golf coach, Pete Cowan, and I've got some really good news for you. You don't have to head to the practice ground and hit thousands of golf balls to get better. In fact, look, the best players aren't even doing that anymore. What they're doing, and what I want you to do, is they're working on movements, exercises at home that are improving how they strike a ball, how they turn their shoulders, how they move their arms. In fact, how they improve their entire golf swing. Today, what I want to do is I want to share with you 3 things that you could be doing, 3 exercises that if you just spare about 6 minutes a day, 2 minutes on each exercise, I guarantee it's going to make some massive differences to the way you play. Now, before I get into the video, look, if you're new to the channel, it's one of your first lessons of mine, please consider subscribing. I release videos just like this one every single week to try and help you improve your game. Plus, I always put a free downloadable practice guide in the description box below, so you'll never have to remember a thing. Okay, so exercise number 1 is all about the feeling of how the club actually strikes the ball or releases down to the golf ball. Now, very few people get this right, so let me show you what you need to do. Get yourself set up, and all I want you to do is get the wrist just cocking at a slight angle. So you're going to pitch this club, not straight up, just at a slight angle here. So you're cocking the wrists up, and you're going to let the elbows just fold a little bit here, and load those shoulders up here. Now, what you're going to imagine here is you want to imagine almost, not quite, but you want to imagine this like an arrow, and you've got a quiver behind you, and you're going to almost pull the arrow out of the quiver. Now, in doing that, as you pull it out, it's like you're chopping down, and as you chop down, what's happening to this club? It's going to get thrown and released down to the ground. This is the release of a golf club. Look at the strength here. I'm pulling it out. If I use my wrist too much here, that would snap the arrow. I'm pulling it out using strength, and as I get here, look, the momentum of this club will be thrown down to the ground, okay? Now, this is what's happening in the golf swing, but I don't see this with golfers. What I'm seeing a lot of time is this: flickiness, rollingness, chicken wings, you name it. What they're not doing is learning the feel of the correct motion of exactly how that club strikes down. Yes, you can't hit a golf ball like this until we've got the backswing in. We're going to blend all of it into a second, but learn the feel first of all of the correct chopping motion. So arrow in the quiver here, pull it out. I'm not breaking, not flicking it, pulling it out, and then just simply allowing it to chop. We're going to blend that whole motion in a second when we add in the 2 other elements, but first things first, learn how this gravity of the club is thrown down. Learn that, get that feeling, and then we'll move on to exercise number 2. So exercise number 2, and I've got a rather large pole here. You don't need a large pole. You could use your driver, you could use a broom. It doesn't really matter. I'm using this more for visual purposes, but grab your driver, it worked just as well. Now, we've got to learn now how the body works. Before we start working on how the arms are going to work, we need to work on how the body works. Nobody gets this right. Get the club, literally put it across your shoulders, place palms on either side. Now, I gave this to my dad recently, okay? Was losing distance with driver, getting a bit of a slice. This hugely helped. So what I want you to get yourself set up and all in your golfing posture. And all I want you to do now is make a turn where your lead shoulder is moving, and you're going to point the pole in line with the center part of your stance here. So the trail shoulder's behind and your lead shoulder's in the center part of your stance. Once you're there, all I want you to do is simply push out your arms. That now, at this angle, you've now formed the perfect turn away from the golf ball, okay? You need to get that sensation. Nobody does this, and I really mean this. Most people, unfortunately, without them realizing, my dad didn't realize this either, are using their arms way too much in their backswing. Why? Because it's easy to do. Well, you need to get the sensation of the body pivoting away in the backswing so that you can use the bigger muscles. Now, what I mean by that is this. If you want to be more powerful and you want to lower, we talked about us doing this chopping motion, okay? Well, watch this. When I'm here, where are my power muscles now? My power muscles, look, are behind me. I can use those my big back muscles, my legs, my power muscles are, if we are having a tug of war, they're behind me. I'm going to drive it down. They're going to be used, look, to drive the club back down to that golf ball with power and control. If I don't have this pivot here, and I'm using my arms without realizing, where are my power muscles now? They're behind me here, this way. So you will use them, by the way, you will use the power muscle, but now they'll pull this way. So you may lean back, thin it, fat it, come across the ball, slice it, you name it. Get the power muscles, the big back muscles and the glutes here in a place where you can use them to bring that action we did in exercise 1 down. We're going to come to that in a second, all right? So get the sensation of this pivot first, build a routine, and then once you've got that sensation, spend a couple of minutes just doing this, then we'll work on number 3. Exercise number 3, and this is a really, really great one. It's going to super help you. So you're going to need something this time a little bit longer. So you're going to need a pole like this, or your broom will be absolutely fine. Take your normal golfing stance. Put your lead hand opposite your lead leg, your trail hand now this way round opposite your trail leg. Set those arms down in this position here. Now what I want you to do is this, okay? I want you to move this bar up to the top. Now the best way to imagine this, and I gave an exercise recently where you can imagine a dumbbell, lifting the dumbbell up with your trail hand here. So I'm supporting it, okay? I'm not drifting it here, I'm supporting it. This is what the trail hand does, supports the dumbbell. But why I love this exercise here is when you support the dumbbell, because the left hand on my lead hand is attached, it forces the lead side also to work as well. So you really get that sensation of those muscles working in the backswing. Super important. Just watch out for this. I see this a lot when people do this exercise. They'll drift back with their trail arm here. That's never going to support a dumbbell. So trail hand, support the dumbbell, get yourself set here. Just get that sensation. Now, once you're in there, you've pivoted beautifully, all you do is lower this club back into position. Now imagine, we talked about exercise 1. This is, look, now you've loaded, there's the chop. We're chopping that club straight down. We aren't flicking it, we're not turning at this stage, we're going straight down here. Well, now look, as we are chopping the head of the golf club here, the mass of this golf club is going to what? Fall to the golf ball. Now look at this. I'm chopping down. The mass of the club falls. My body, look, matches the movement beautifully. And hey presto, we have the golf swing right there where it all starts to blend. So do this exercise once or twice. Get a sense of what you're doing. And then what you can do, look, is take a golf club if you want. Split the hand a little bit here. There's that chopping motion. Watch how this all blends in now. We've got the pivot, look. Dumbbell, really sense that sensation. Now look, this is the chop, isn't it? There we are, arrowing quiver, chop down, but we're just chopping, and look, we're driving chop straight down here, and look, the mass of the club is gonna drop, look, beautifully onto that golf ball here, as I literally swing through, okay? So you can practice these motions. I gave the chopping action to my little girl the other day because she was struggling to get the ball up in the air, work to treat. So get that sensation. I'll start to blend these motions into one motion here. Chop and down and left. Chop where my hand's going, down and left. Get that sensation and away you go. Awesome. So 3 things that are going to really help. Get the feeling of the strike first. Get that sensation. Let the momentum in the club from here, don't flick you at wrists. Let the club drop down to the ground. Really sense that momentum. Then get the pivot. Use that bar. Spend some time feeling it. Once you've done that, get the split hand, look. Drive that down. Chop it down. Allow the mass of the club. Look, it wants to be, look, thrown. Don't flick it. Lead it down, and then as you keep throwing it down and you keep pivoting, look, that is going to be thrown beautifully with power and control. Spend just 6 minutes a day feeling these motions. I promise you, you're going to get better, okay? If you enjoy this video, remember to give it a thumbs up. Check this video out right here. Once you've watched this and you've done these exercises, it will really help. New to the channel and you love videos like this one, please consider subscribing. But until next week, have a wonderful golfing week.